Welcome to today's Global Connections program. I'm Bill Miller. What is Rotary International? What are 1.2 million Rotarians doing to help eliminate diseases and to promote literacy around the world and in their own communities? We'll be back in just a moment to talk about these and other important issues. Welcome back to our program. You're watching Global Connections Television, which is an independently produced program. The opinions expressed on Global Connections are solely those of the moderator and his guest. Today we're taking a look at a very interesting service organization, one of the largest in the world, Rotary International. My guest today is an expert on Rotary. My guest today is Mr. Ed Kalmey. Mr. Ed Kalmey is a member of the South Oldham, Kentucky Rotary Club, and he's also Rotary District 6710 Governor for 2013-2014. Ed Kalmey is a graduate of Bellarmine University, and he worked for Kraft Foods, where he rose through the ranks from a salesman in the rural areas of Kentucky to become Vice President of Sales for Kraft's Dairy Division. Governor Ed Kalmey, welcome to today's Global Connections program.
Good to be here, Bill.
I appreciate you being with me. Ed,
Sure.
it started off right at the top with Rotary International. It was created in 1905 by Paul Harris in Chicago, Illinois, with three professional colleagues. Why did he create this organization, and what did he want to do at that time?
Well, at that point in time, the four guys got together for a networking. It was really networking their businesses and that type of thing. And then it started growing a bit and more members coming in. And then they thought, we need to do a service project. And the first service project was in Chicago, and it was 2 restrooms in downtown Chicago. And one also at that very same time, a lot of people don't know about, is they gave a mule to a minister out in the rural areas to get back and forth to his church. And then it just grew from there.
Mm-hmm. And it may seem strange to us today, but in 1905, an outdoor facility was very important in Chicago and other cities around the world because they didn't have any, or very few of them at that time.
Absolutely.
So it's very important. Now, the Rotary motto is service above self. How does that tie into his project and what you're doing today, the Rotarians are doing?
Well, I think when you talk about service above self, it basically is saying, think about other people before yourself. Think about the other people in your community and in the world that are less fortunate that you are and that you can be helping. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's what they were doing with the service project in Chicago. And then it's just growing from there to over 200 countries. Mm-hmm. And 1.2 million members and 34,000 clubs, I believe.
That's exactly right, yeah. In full disclosure, you and I have been Rotarians for many years now, and we know the organization quite well. And there are a lot of really great service clubs out there. Kiwanis International, Lions International,
Absolutely.
Optimus, but Rotary really was the first one in 1905 that sort of set the benchmark, I think, for what a service club could do. Now, we have a very interesting video. It's called This is Rotary. We'll see about 2 minutes of it, and we'll come back and talk about it.
What would it take to change the world? Provide food to the hungry and water to the thirsty. Teach children to read and keep them healthy. Shelter families and train a new generation. Give the poor a chance to better themselves. Create a worldwide network of peacemakers and conquer a disease that has killed or crippled millions. Could one person do it? What about 1.2 million?
Yeah, my name is Frank Wessel.
Tamara DeWitt.
Gaston Cabot. Pat Draper.
Eu sou Adélia Vilas.
Dr. Naresh Goyal.
Mon nom est Awa Omar.
Gary Parrish.
Warren Kaufman.
Lisa Simmons.
Eric Kimani.
Meu nome é Eduardo.
Singh Arora.
Megan Coutinho.
These men and women are changing the world. They're members of Rotary. Professionals and community leaders organized into more than 32,000 clubs worldwide. They volunteer at the local, regional, and international levels, and dedicate themselves to a simple motto: service above self.
That's what Rotary is all about. Vision to see, faith to believe, and courage to act.
So many of us, we sit back and we go, gee, I'd really like to help somewhere in the world, but I don't know how to do it. And Rotary gives you all the tools you need.
Personalmente tengo. Just the fact that you are a Rotarian opens doors all over the world.
For members of Rotary, no project is too big. Working with UNICEF, the World Health Organization, and the CDC, Rotary has immunized more than 2 billion children against polio and reduced the disease by more than 99% worldwide.
With not too many dollars, these Rotarians and our partners are doing a tremendous job, very effectively, very efficiently.
Rotary has spent more than $500 million on international scholarships and foreign exchange, while its graduate-level programs in conflict resolution train peacemakers from around the world.
When I started working for Interpol at the United Nations, I already had the background to understand international relations.
For Rotary members, the reward is immense and immediate.
Helping others is one of the things that I really enjoy. It makes my day.
Yeah, that was a very interesting overview of what Rotary is about. In there, they mentioned too about the Polio Plus program. This is a major program. It was launched in 1987. What exactly is the Polio Plus program? What's the purpose, or what's the focus there?
Well, the focus is to get rid of this disease. And Rotary, like you said, started in 1985 or 87. And at that point in time, there were 350,000 cases of polio. And I believe it was 120 countries. And Rotary got involved and basically going on eradication trips and then also donating to the cause. And at this point in time, it's right close to $1 billion that Rotarians have given to Polio Plus. And we ask that each club give $2,000 a year. Some can, some give more, and some do what they can. So it's very, very important, and we're that close.
Exactly.
3 countries.
That's right. And it was Rotary's idea, and as she mentions, they developed it in 85, and in 87, they went to the United Nations World Health Organization, the UN Children's Fund, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control to get some more partners because they had some technical expertise where they would be of assistance.
Sure.
And that program has been absolutely phenomenal. It's down to 3 countries, and that's so important. But when this program comes to fruition, you will have over 50,000 children who will not lose their lives every year. You will have taxpayers in the United States save over $300 million a year. Taxpayers around the world will save $1.5 billion per year that they don't have to put money into a polio plus, into anti-polio program. And it really reduce or eliminate the suffering and the immense suffering for millions of children. And you and I both remember the iron lungs. I'm sure the kid down the street or maybe a member of our family.
I remember growing up with seeing the iron lung. And I got 2 brothers. And the 3 of us, there were 3 things, 2 that we couldn't do and 1 that we had to do. Is we couldn't go swimming because if you got tired, you'd seem to catch the disease, and couldn't go to movies because there were crowds. And the other thing we had to do is take a nap every day. And, you know, those were all precautions that all mothers seem to take at that period of time. And you want to see it go. And we're that close.
Exactly. And now today you've got the UN Children's Fund with their network around the world. They're working to immunize children. Rotarians, tens of thousands of Rotarians have been on national immunization days to go over and put the drops, 2 or 3 drops in a child's mouth. That has really made the difference.
Big difference, huge difference. And you know, the scary thing, it seems like polio's been on just a little bit of an uptick lately in Syria and a little bit in Somalia, and it's really only a plane ride away. And it's very, very important that we get to those kids that in those countries.
Exactly. And when you have civil wars taking place, such as in Syria or wherever it might be, the Democratic Republic of Congo, people flee. They cross borders and they take the disease with them.
That's right.
And they start another case of it in another country. Well, the 4th object of Rotary, I guess, is to promote world peace, international cooperation, and international understanding. And one of the programs we've done it through a variety of things, through projects, but one is this World Peace Fellows program that you have. And we've got a little video on that. We're going to take a look at that. and come back and talk about the World Peace Fellows. But let's go to the video.
I decided, well, if I survive this ordeal, I could come out and help to change the situation.
The countries that I was working in are countries that have the potential for very widespread violence.
I grew up knowing that what I wanted to do was to use the law as a way to work for victims of atrocities.
I always knew that I wanted to have an international career, considering that in all difficulty, there is an opportunity.
Meet an exceptional group of people. Each is a Rotary World Peace Fellow, graduate of a unique academic program that's dedicated to a simple proposition. The best way to build peace is to train a new generation of peacemakers. The mission of the Rotary Foundation is to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace. As one way to achieve these goals, the Foundation created 7 Rotary Centers for International Studies in Peace and Conflict Resolution. The centers in the United States, Argentina, England, Japan, and Australia offer a master's degree program in a variety of study areas.
I had an incredible time as a World Peace Fellow in Argentina in 2005 to 2007.
I was at the University of Queensland and I was also at the University of California in Berkeley.
The center in Thailand offers a 3-month course leading to a professional development certificate in peace and conflict studies.
One of the best things that ever happened to me was going to Bangkok and getting such a wonderful training from some of the best professors in the world.
Rotary World Peace Fellows benefit from rigorous academic curriculums. They review case studies, participate in academic seminars, and hone their skills in conflict analysis, negotiation, and mediation.
We learned about ethnic conflict in India, or we learned about the displacements in Sierra Leone. We looked at Islamist conflict in the south of Thailand.
One of the things that the Peace Centre universities appreciate is that the Peace Fellows bring with them a great deal of practical experience themselves.
The fields that are covered within the program are anywhere from teachers to lawyers to government officials to development work.
What I find about Rotary and how they chose the Peace Fellows was that there is someone for everything, nearly, and that's exactly what the world needs.
From Lebanon, from Australia, from the Gaza Strip, from everywhere. They've been everywhere. They've experienced the issues firsthand.
The interaction between participants in the classroom is always incredibly dynamic, energetic, active, controversial, often argumentative.
To be in one room and fight and debate and disagree and agree and about issues of the world just makes you learn things really quickly.
And that learning doesn't happen only in the classroom. Equally important are the program's field studies, where Peace Fellows get practical experience in implementing the lessons they've learned.
The applied field experience is the core of the program. I went to West Africa, where I assessed sensitive issues like women and conflict in Senegal and Ivory Coast.
Ed, I think that video really shows the highlights of, first off, what a premier program this is. As I understand it, there are only about 60 to 70 Peace Fellows selected each year for those universities that they mentioned, and then you have the other program in Thailand, which is a 3 to 6 month program. And so that really is just remarkable how much competition there is, because you're a governor. You are in District 6710. There are 534 counterparts around the world. The world's broken up into 535 governorships. But of those folks who have been selected, you've had 3 from your Rotary District. That's quite an honor.
It is quite an honor. It's exceptional, and we have 1 this year.
That's great. That's
very good, yeah.
That is fantastic. That program, I think, could be a model for other service clubs? I know many service clubs are doing a lot of things for world peace and international cooperation, but to bring these scholars together, and they come from the private sector, they come from the public sector. I know one person who worked for IBM participated in the program, and they can go back to their jobs and really be ambassadors for peace and world understanding.
That's right.
But it's a remarkable program.
It's a great program, and and it's the young people, and they're working together, and then they go back and promote peace.
Exactly.
And you can do that.
That's the name of the game.
Right.
It's very important. Well, let's talk about Rotary District 6710. We could be sitting in California, we could be sitting in Mumbai, India, we could be in Montevideo, Uruguay. It could be a different district governor there,
right.
But Rotary spans the world. You got 535 districts. Talk a little bit about Rotary District 6710. How is it geographically? Where is it located? How many clubs do you have? How many members?
Well, we're sort of split the state in half. Frankfort to Louisville, all the way to the Tennessee border is our district. And we have 58 clubs, and 2,965 members today. And that is on the uptick. Membership had been decreasing a bit, but it is starting to increase a bit. And another interesting thing, our average age is 56. And then the female, we're 26.4% female. So that's very, very important.
It certainly is. It's very important to get younger people, middle-aged
Right.
folks in,
Right.
young professionals, just everybody. And everybody can participate in Rotary today. It is so important that you bring in folks who really not only want to network for their businesses, as you mentioned earlier,
Right.
but also want to really improve their communities, be it in the community area, the vocational area, or maybe work on international projects. But there's a role for everybody, is there not?
Excuse me.
Sure, please.
No, I was going to say there's a couple other areas that really, when you look at Rotary, we have what we call Interact. And these are high school kids that we try to get involved with the service above self type thing. At high school, we have 656,000 of them and 15,000 clubs across the world. And then after high school, we go to Rotaract. And this is basically the college age students. And then we take them right on through, and then hopefully they become Rotarians.
And they get involved in community projects and international projects both?
Just the same. And work with the local Rotary clubs in many, many cases. And they bring a lot of energy to the Rotary clubs with the youth.
Exactly. I know several of them participated in the recent Trick or Treat for UNICEF program
Right.
that was held in your district. And basically this is a program in several countries where school children would go around maybe trick or treating for UNICEF, but they also, some of these folks took these and put them out, such as in businesses, put them in near cash registers or wherever it
Sure.
might be, in somebody's office or whatever, or maybe school children had a little competition, one class against the other, to see who could raise more money for UNICEF, which that money would go to the Polio Plus program.
Polio Plus, and that happened in a lot of our Interact clubs and also Rotaract clubs, some competition in the schools. So, yeah, it's a great program.
It certainly is, right. Well, now we've been talking about Rotary International at the international level, and if our viewers would like more information, they can go to www.rotary.org. And we've talked about your district. They can go to rotarydistrict6710.org. So there are two great resources.
Right, find anything you want to know about Rotary, and that's a good opportunity to look and then join.
Exactly, most assuredly. Well, now, you've had a chance to go out and visit your 58 clubs. That's one of the requirements of being a district governor, is to go out and visit the clubs. What did you find when you went out to visit, like the Louisville club,
Right.
which has nearly 500 members, versus a club, say, in Katie's with 50 members or something like that, or 60, whatever they have now? What did you find as far as diversity and also as far as community projects and international projects?
Well, like you said, Louisville is the largest with right at 500 members, and it goes all the way down to some clubs 12 or 13. But our average size is about 45. And the thing that's very interesting, no matter how large or how small, there are a lot of community projects going on in the clubs, and it's dealing with, a lot of it with youth. And it's scholarships, dictionaries to third graders, reading programs, backpack feeding programs where kids take food home when they might not get it on the weekends, and that type of thing. But I think the biggest thing that, you're right, I just finished all of my club visits last Tuesday, a week ago tomorrow, and it was in Lebanon, Kentucky. The thing that struck me so much is the number of projects going in across the state or across our district, just loads of them, and then the people that we have meeting all the Rotarians and their dedication to their community and also international projects.
Exactly. Now, what are some of the key projects that, I know there are dozens, probably scores, maybe even be hundreds for all I know, but what are 2 or 3 or 4 that come to mind of some that your clubs have been involved in, either at the community level, you've mentioned a few of them already,
right,
but also at the international level?
Well, one that I'd like to talk about first is we just had our district conference last weekend before last, and we had a project that all of our clubs could participate in, and every Rotarian, and we collected shoes for orphan souls, and these shoes are going to be going to the Dominican Republic, and these are new shoes, and they go to kids that's never ever had a pair of new shoes, and it was a wonderful project, and our goal was to get 3 pair of shoes per member. And we did that. We were 3.1 pair. We barely got there, but did a great job. Raised over 9,000 pair of shoes. And our conference was a statewide conference with the other district in the state, and they raised 8,000 pair of shoes, but they took us to the woodshed on pairs per member. They had five pair per member. And they're a little bit smaller than us member-wise, but they really did a good job. And the total state was 17,365 pair of shoes that we raised. And that was just a great project, getting everybody involved. And I think some of the other ones is we have water projects in Haiti and Guatemala, some in Africa, that are just wonderful projects.
Now, Rotary encourages its clubs, all 34,000, to develop partnerships with Rotary clubs in other parts of the world, to partner with them on a potable water project, for example, between the Frankfort, Kentucky Club and the Rotary Club of San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. How can Rotarians do that? Can they go to the website? I guess they can just go to Rotary.org, and you've got a listing of groups, countries, and Rotary clubs that want to partner.
Right, absolutely. You hit right on the head. You go to the website, there's projects that you would, really is your passion, and then the club in the other country that you could tie in with. So the projects are there, and you can find one that your club could be interested in.
Well, Ed, in the limited time we have left, what is your most fond memory of your experience as district governor up to this point?
Well, it's sort of like I said before, Bill. I think that the first 2 years, as you know, you've been a district governor a few years back, and the first couple of years there's a lot of training, and I asked myself, why did I ever do this? But then July the 1st, when you take office, and I started making club visits, that was the most rewarding thing of my tenure so far, of seeing the projects going on across the state of Kentucky and meeting our members. It's sort of overwhelming. It makes you very proud to be a Rotarian. And then the other thing is seeing people in the clubs that have a real passion for whatever it might be. Some of it is youth, some of it's water, some of it's health, whatever it might be. When you find that person with a passion, it just lights up. And there's so much that we take for granted, clean drinking water and health, that doesn't exist in the rest of the world.
As you were talking about these wonderful experiences and these great projects, I was visualizing 534 other governors sitting in that seat right now, because these are going on around the world. Really, all of the Rotary clubs and people who are non-Rotarians should look into tapping into the Rotary and learning more about it. Go to Rotary.org and find out more information about it. And it may be that that's a fit for you, because Rotary is the UN's number one partner, and the UN is Rotary's number one partner. But Rotary teams up with a lot of different groups around the world to really create a better world and to reduce suffering and just to improve the quality of life. But Rotary District 6710, Governor Ed Kalmey, I want to thank you so very much for a very interesting and a very informative program.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you. I'm Bill Miller. Thank you for joining us on today's Global Connections program.